Hello, I'm Mayor Rick Goldring, and welcome to Burlington Matters. Burlington Matters is a program that I host here on Cogeco TV, featuring discussion about different issues and events that are happening within the city of Burlington. Today we're going to be talking about the Healthy Kids Community Challenge. Burlington is very fortunate to be one of 45 cities or municipalities across the province of Ontario that is involved in this particular challenge. And the challenge, or the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, unites communities with a common goal of promoting children's health through physical activity and healthy eating. So today I have two guests, and we're going to talk about this community challenge. To my immediate left is Jen Spence. Jen is the Supervisor of Recreation for Youth for the City of Burlington. And beside Jen is Jennifer Jenkins-Scott, Health Promoter with the region of Halton. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Jen, the Community Challenge, the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, launched in October 2015. There's different stages to the program. Why don't you just enlighten us about the different stages?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it's the goal of promoting children's health through physical activity and healthy eating. So we work with the community to develop an action plan, and over 9 months we implement that action plan within the community. So our first theme we launched in October 2015 was Run, Jump, Play Every Day. Our second theme, which we're just finishing up at the end of March, was Water Does Wonders. And our third theme that we're about to launch is Choose to Boost Veggies and Fruit.
And Water Does Wonders, what are you referring to? Drinking water, or,
yeah.
or you know, doing recreation within water and swimming? What does that refer to?
So the goal for Water Does Wonders was to increase water consumption in children, and decrease the sugar-sweetened drinks and beverages.
Jennifer, what is the Region of Halton's Health Department role in this particular Healthy Kids Community Challenge?
Simply put, we're here to assist Burlington as they implement their initiative. Myself, as a health promoter, my job at the steering committee is to assist with action plan development according to the themes. I also like to make sure that there's a comprehensive approach whenever any sort of initiative is being implemented. So that's making sure there's policy, initiative, supportive environment, skill development, education awareness, so I can bring that lens to the table. We also have a dietitian who is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to nutrition. She also sits at the steering committee, and we have public health nurses who are out and about in the community working at the grassroots level or the ground level, making sure those action items are implemented. In addition, we also have other departments that have assisted. Our communications department has been helpful with some of the work, and our epidemiology and evaluation department has been helpful with statistics and whatnot as needed.
Great. So we're not going to look at a video on counting down to a healthy lifestyle.
The following public health message applies to youth 5 to 17 years of age.
10, 5, 2, 1, 0, those are the numbers you need to know.
Help your child count down to a healthy lifestyle.
10
or more hours of sleep. Create a bedtime routine. Keep TVs, phones and computers out of their bedroom. And avoid food and drink that have caffeine.
5
or more vegetables and fruits daily. Fill half a plate with vegetables and fruit. Avoid foods high in sugar and fat and salt. Eat meals together as often as you can.
2
hours or less of screen time. Limit the time your child spends on the TV, computer, electronic games and mobile devices. Replace screen time with active time. Have board games, puzzles, crafts and books around the house.
1
or more hours of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. Run, bike, swim, dance or play. Walk or cycle to school. Take a family walk after meals.
0
sugar-sweetened drinks. Make water your first choice. Avoid pop, sports drinks and fruit drinks with lots of sugar. Plain and sweetened milk is a healthy alternative. Pack reusable water bottles for school.
So remember these numbers. 10, 5, 2, 1, 0.
To start your child on a path for a healthy lifestyle.
10, 5, 2, 1, 0. Those are the numbers you need to know.
Brought to you by Healthy Kids Community Challenge and Halton Region.
So that's pretty simple. 10, 5, 2. What is it? No, it's not that simple. 10, 5, 2, 1, 0. There we go. It's interesting. It reminds me of a book I read recently that I refer to often, actually. It's called Blue Zones. And it talks about areas of the world that have the highest percentage of people that live to age 100 and beyond. And there's three common elements. One is healthy diet. And actually plant-based diet, to be specific. Not that people don't eat meat, but primarily it's a plant-based diet. Number two, it's activity. And number three, it's connectivity, social connectivity. Those are the three components of longevity and quality of life. So it's interesting. That's pretty well all factored into the 10-5-2-1-0.
Yes,
so, so Jen, what are some of the successes that the Healthy Kids program has seen as far as bringing people together in the community?
Well, I think the biggest success we have is working in collaboration with a variety of organizations and members of the community. So one story I'll tell you quickly is that out in Aldershot, at one of our community meetings, a mother brought up the fact that, you know, on her street there's a variety of kids, but they don't play together because they don't go to the same school. So that a group of people got together out in Aldershot, and all the schools pulled together, and they developed a Aldershot Fit Night, and they saw over 300 people come out from all those schools and start making those connections, as you talk about, so that their kids would feel comfortable to go out and be active in the street. So we have 26 different organizations that we're working with right now in terms of some of the interventions, and we have 5 neighborhood action teams with residents and agencies.
So 26 different entities involved in the Healthy Kids Community Challenge.
Yes. Yeah.
That really is truly a community-led initiative.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the city's facilitating it, but you're facilitating so much of the effort is being expended by so many other organizations.
Yes. So that includes 7 schools, and then 5 daycares, and then a variety of different community programs.
When we look at the health of our children across the region, what are some of the trends that we're seeing? You think with all our knowledge today about what healthy eating is and what healthy activity is and so on and so forth, how does that fit in with you know, the condition of children in Halton region?
Well, unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of trend data in Halton, but I did bring some information with me that I think you might find interesting. We do have a Halton Youth Survey that we apply to grade 7s and grade 10s, and we do ask specific questions around health. And I also brought some adult information because I think it's interesting, because we know that whatever happens with a child, especially with overweight and obesity, they have a tendency to continue that trend as they become adults. So it's very important to start early with healthy lifestyle behaviors to have the best optimal health as you age, especially for chronic disease prevention and weight. So on that note, I pulled up some of the BMI numbers. BMI is what we use to measure underweight, normal weight, overweight, and obesity. Height and weight, correct? Yep. And this is self-reported data, so we know with self-reported data, people have a tendency to either overestimate or underestimate, depending on what the question is. So you have to kind of take it.
So really, I'm not that heavy, right?
Right. So you take it with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, it's the data that we have and we can use. So in 2006-07, we started asking youth about their overweight and obesity, if they were considered overweight or obese. In Burlington specific, 21% said yes, they were overweight or obese. We fast forward that to 2012-13, which is the latest data, 19% have reported that. If we look at grade 10 data, we see 22% in 2006 and then 21% in 2012-13. We bring that into the adult, 57% of adults in Burlington are rating themselves as overweight or obese. So what we see is, as you're aging, weight is increasing in the population.
So a big part of this particular program is helping youth, helping children establish healthy habits now, because we're a slave to our habits, whether we have good habits or we have bad habits. We're a slave to those habits. So it's better off if you can start off with, earlier in your life, with more positive health habits.
Absolutely.
And it makes a big difference ongoing. How can people learn more about what's happening with the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, Jen?
They can connect with us through our website at healthykidsburlon.ca.
healthykidsburl.on.ca. Okay, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We also you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and connect with us when we're out in the community at our festivals or other community challenges that we have out there.
And so we're heading into the healthy eating phase.
That's right.
of the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, and that'll be for how long?
It will go to December of 2017.
December this year. Is there anything after that?
The Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care is looking to plan a 4th year. We just don't have confirmation of that yet.
Okay, so will they be defining the theme of that?
Yeah, so the ministry does provide us with the theme,
Right.
And then we take the research that supports that theme, and we take that information out to the community and work with them to do the action plan. If a 4th theme does not come, we are working together as a steering committee to figure out what does that sustainability look like in terms of keeping up with the good work that we're doing with Healthy Kids.
I understand is it a snacktivist?
Yes.
Promotion going on?
Yeah, so right now our sport unit is working with the sport organizations in Burlington to bring back healthy sideline snacks. And I know you came to the arena and helped us launch it with the teams. Yes, so they were the first teams that signed up, and the idea is that they would work with their teams and provide healthy snacks and water as the drink of choice. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. But anyway, we started off with healthy eating. We have healthy eating right now. We started off with physical activity, and then we looked at the water piece in promoting water consumption. Thirdly, it's the healthy eating. So what do you think we're missing here? Is there anything we're missing, and maybe you can give some input to the ministry as to what the theme should be for a 4th?
Well, I would really like to see.
Segment?
I would like for the 4th theme. It would be really nice to bring all those themes together and do more work in terms of all of them together to make a real impact.
To integrate it.
Yes.
Right? That it's not just, okay, it's good that you're drinking more water than you did before, but you also have to eat healthy. You also need that physical activity.
Yeah.
And how do we make those things habits that happen on a regular basis?
To go back to the 10-5-2-1-0 and bring that all together.
Yeah, keep it supported and ongoing and implementing. Yep, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much to Jennifer and Jen for joining us today, talking about the Healthy Kids Community Challenge. I commend you on your efforts, and I think we can be very optimistic of the fact that the efforts that you are putting in today, along with so many different community organizations and schools, will make a lasting impact on the youth as they age in their lives, and they'll be healthy adults as well. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll be right back here on Burlington Matters. Hello, I'm Mayor Rick Goldring, and welcome back to Burlington Matters, and today we're discussing the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, and with me I have 2 new guests. I have Osob Addis, who's a community member, a mother, and a member of the Halton Mosque, and I also have Denise Beard with me today, who is the manager of community development within the Parks and Recreation Department of the City of Burlington. So welcome to you both. Osob, the Mosque received some funding for a playground through the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, and as a result, you're inviting the entire community to a grand opening on May the 13th in the afternoon. And it's also a Canada 150 Love My Hood event, which is very exciting. So what inspired you to initiate the project?
The playground project?
Yeah.
Well, initially about 2000, I believe it was 2006, I read a book written by Jim Dyers. And it was about neighborhood engagement and a neighborhood active citizens and the impact they can have to the community. So we had that book. Usually we have a family discussions on certain books that we read as a family. And back then when we've discussed, I've always followed around and saw the amazing work a community can achieve together. That being said, then I met Denise, and I come to know that the City of Burlington has a neighborhood match fund.
Yeah, but you know what? You were on this issue before we were. right? Back in 2006, the fact that you read Jim Dyer's book, that's before I think Denise was exposed to Jim Dyer's work, because Denise is the champion among others in the city with regard to neighborhood empowerment. So fascinating.
It was really fascinating, and I've reread the book at least 3 times. And what I've taken out was communication and connection with the city, and just what an impact active citizenship and being involved in the community can bring on the table. So that was initially one, and the second thing was really meeting Denise, and she was really an integral part of myself engaging into this project. We had, we'll go through when we met, but she's very inspiring and made those possibilities coming from a family of 4 kids, and we read a lot. We were always thinking about how can we support initiatives, endowment initiatives around the world, and kids. How can we help kids and give them the rights to play? When I one day visited the mosque, I've noticed that we had a very, very tired playground, and there was a lot of kids still trying to play on it. And initially, immediately I've shifted my take on to being involved in other communities around the world versus why not now and why not here. So that was the initiative and an inspiring beginning for the playground.
Well, you're inspiring in your own right, for sure.
Yeah.
So how did the 2 of you meet, Denise?
Well, we happened to be at a regional workshop around food networks, and that was my link from Healthy Kids, because on Healthy Kids we're about healthy eating and physical activity. So we were wanting to learn more about the health network in Halton, the healthy food networks in Halton, and Osob and I happened to be at the same breakout table, and it was just coincidental, and we just started chatting, and I asked a little bit about what Osob first of all educated me about. It was right around, I think, Easter when we met. Yeah. And there was a major food bank drive at the time, and Osob had been doing some work with Syrian refugees and how she was helping them navigate the food network in Halton, and she was having to drive people around. And she said, what's really frustrating is that the foods that we donate to the food banks are not foods that our new refugees know and have come to understand. She's like, they understand pita, they understand hummus, they understand. Right. She's like, I wish we would donate more of that food. So immediately, right after that day, I said, my donation is going to be all pita and hummus and that kind of stuff to help integrate or our refugees feel more welcome in our community. But at the same time as Osob was educating me on that, I was educating Osob on Healthy Kids Community Challenge. And she had this vision about a playground and wanting to renew it at the Mosque site. And I said, I know exactly how we can help you. And I also educated you at the same time on our Community Matching Fund, which had just launched that spring. Yeah. And I saw an opportunity for integration and engagement on both sides. And we started our relationship from there, and we've done so many other things. Osob's a huge community activist, doing so many things, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about all the different initiatives that she's taking on. An exhausting piece of work as a volunteer in our community, but doing so many great beneficial things and really achieving a lot of the goals that we're trying to achieve in the city.
It's great, because this is an example of what we aspire to as a municipal organization, is that we're all about empowering people in our community, and that's what really, Denise, your role is manager of community development, and here we have a great example of that happening. I think Osob was going to be doing some of her own empowering without you, but you're only helping her do it more. So Osob, what's next for you? You're just not going to let go after you've got a new playground. There's more, I know, that you've got in mind.
Yeah, there are many, many, many more. I try to target it low and just make it shorter list so I can achieve it, or we can achieve it collectively. What is really next is really to promote active lifestyle. To promote active lifestyle and make the city and the community have more efficient deliveries of programs. So meaning that if we're going to work together with the community and the city officials, basically to really empower ourselves to take on more and give that feedback to the city. in various departments and make those things reality. So my next really true initiative is to bring in more programs that are more catered for specific community lifestyle per se, because there's some sort of customization that you have to do to deliver an efficient program. And I would like to be really taking on more on that front and to engage more into the community.
So talk a bit about, there's two initiatives I know you're working on right now, one about swimming and one about soccer. Maybe talk a little bit about those two initiatives.
And so City of Burlington Recreation Live and Play program in Recreation Department has a swimming day for women only, but it coincides with the last Saturday of every month. The problem with that is in many communities, last Saturday, including the Mosque, the last Saturday there is an event that goes on in the Mosque. Okay. So it blocks people from really enjoying that swimming session. So what we've been doing is I've been working with the city's aquatic department to engage and see if we can come up with different dates and different times that we can do. Perhaps we can change, instead of making it the last Saturday, into small tweaks really that make huge differences. And right now what we were able to do is run a pilot project and see if we can rent a swimming pool and engage the community, and the turnout was great.
Excellent.
So now we can initiate more. There's also, even though we are surrounded with a lot of water, there's a huge shortage of being able to swim in our community, especially women and young ladies and teenagers. A lot of community members have either come in to Burlington as new residents. So I'm hoping that would be really a smooth integration process for them. And for us to facilitate that and promote at the same time active lifestyle.
The whole broad subject of building community or community development, Denise, you've had your whole career pretty well with the City of Burlington in the Parks and Recreation Department. I would suggest when you first started with the Parks and Recreation Department, community development and building community, that was, you probably weren't sure what that meant, but there was an aha moment for you when you got sort of, the switch was turned, where you said to your staff and your team that this is the path we need to go down. What influenced you?
Somebody named Jim Dyers, 100%. I had the opportunity to hear him speak at a Parks and Recreation Ontario event, and Jennifer Spence, who was the previous guest, was also in the same session with me, and I left that day completely inspired. Jim, very much a grassroots individual, was able to take, was a former advocate, somebody who probably fought against government, and ended up becoming a municipal employee for the City of Seattle, and really transformed how that community, or how the City of Seattle embraces community development. And I think I just needed to see somebody do it and understand what they were doing, and how as a government agency we could help trigger or inspire community to take action and empower themselves. And reading and listening to his story, that was the spark for me. I go, this resonates with me. This 100% resonates with me. As a municipal employee, we often hear from community, why doesn't the city do this? And why doesn't the city do that? And you guys should do this and you should do that. And this was an alternative way to say, those are great ideas. What are you going to do to help step and create that forward? And I can maybe develop some programs or some funding initiatives to enable you to deliver this great idea. And we're starting to see that more and more, and the Mosque being a great example of that and what they've been able to do and step up to. But Jim Dyers was truly that inspiration for me, and I'm just so happy.
When did you first hear him speak?
May of 2000, probably 4 years ago. Let's say it was 4 years ago.
I look at the progress.
I know, in 4 years.
That we've made.
I know.
It's tremendous.
It is tremendous. I have to say, as a staff person, bringing the concept forward and sharing it with people, obviously it resonated with me, and it's obviously resonated with many of our senior leaders in the municipality as well as our elected officials, that people want that sense of belongingness. They want that sense of community, and to be able to have a program and get it through all of our levels of government, to say, yeah, like, we agree with you and let's see this happen, it's been so inspiring. I agree with you. It's in 4 years, there's clearly a message in there that resonates with a lot of people that we felt like we've been lacking. and the sense of community that we're being able to bring through some city challenges and some city funding has been enormous.
So speaking of that, there's a program which I love, and it's called Love My Hood.
Yes.
And why don't you tell us about that and what the objective is for 2017?
So Love My Hood was one of the first initiatives we started after Jim Dyers came to speak to city staff. And the premise was, Jim always said, we're always trying to get community to come out to meetings and engage with community, but people hate meetings. They loathe meetings. I loathe meetings. I'm sure most people do not enjoy attending a meeting. But people love a party. And so the idea was, why don't we get communities to have more parties so that they can meet each other? They understand, they get to see their neighbors. There isn't this notion that you just walk into your house at the end of the day and you shut the doors and that's it. So Love My Hood was really about having street parties or having neighborhood parties to get to know your neighbors. 2017 is the 150th year of Canada, and our goal this year is to have 150 Love My Hoods. Huge challenge, huge initiative. I'm so happy that the Mosque is going to be one of our 150 for sure this year, and we're looking to really build on it. I know already this year we're having way more applications than we have in the past. Your leadership in this initiative has been huge. You're out there talking about 150 Love My Hoods. If we can get 150 neighborhoods to know each other, know their next door neighbor, maybe help them shovel their driveway, maybe help them with a cup of milk if they're doing a recipe, that kind of thing, it would be fantastic. But my ultimate goal when it relates to the Healthy Kids Community Challenge is the sense that when I was a kid, I used to go outside the front door and play.
I have to wrap this up.
Oh, wow.
You've got about 5 or 10 seconds left.
I just want to build community that we feel free to let our kids go outside and play. That's really...
That's a great way to close.
Yeah.
That's a great way to close. I must say I'm inspired by the discussion we've had today with our first guests, Jen and Jennifer, along with Osob and Denise. And I do want to thank all of you for your contributions to building community within the city of Burlington. So thank you to Jennifer Spence, Jennifer Jenkins-Scott, Denise Beard, and Osob Adas for today's wonderful conversation about building community, but also through the Healthy Kids Community Challenge and the other programs that we're offering here in the city. And if you have an idea for a future episode of Burlington Matters, give the Mayor's Office a call at 905-335-7607 or email us at mayor@burlington.ca. We'd love to hear what you suggest we should talk about next. But I do want to thank you for taking time to tuning in to Burlington Matters today. And for all the guests today, I'm Mayor Rick Goldring. Thanks for tuning in to Cogeco TV, truly local television. We'll see you next time.